All right, moving on, a UN investigation has found that the capture of Sudanese city of Al Fasher by a parliamentary group bears hallmarks that point to genocide. The UN probe concluded that the Rapid Support Forces, or the RSF's seizure of the city in October inflicted 3 days of absolute horror. The global agency has called for those responsible to be brought to justice. Now, the probe was carried out by the United Nations Independent Fact-Finding Mission. Since April 2023, the conflict between Sudan's army and the paramilitary RSF has killed tens of thousands and forced 11 million people to flee their homes. RSF took over Al Fasher at the end of October last year. It was the last remaining stronghold of the Sudanese Armed Forces, or SAF, in the Darfur region. Now, this followed an 18-month siege. The siege led to what the UN mission calls 3 days of horror in Al Fasher. This included mass killings, rape and torture, as well as inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring upon the group's physical destruction, which are core elements of crime of genocide under international law. Humanitarian officials said the situation for women and girls has deteriorated sharply since fighting erupted nearly 3 years ago.
Sexual violence against women and girls has reached simplifyingly horrific levels, simply put. Documented cases have nearly tripled, and we know this is a fraction of the real scale, given the barriers to reporting. Partners have also witnessed a sharp rise in female genital mutilation, domestic violence, exploitation, and child and forced marriage.
Britain's Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper described the findings as page after page of the most distressing accounts imaginable. Listen to this.
A pregnant woman was asked how far she was in her pregnancy. When she responded 7 months, he fired 7 bullets into her abdomen, killing her. Hospitals, medical personnel, the sick and wounded were not spared. And survivors reported being raped in front of their relatives, including their children.
The United States on Thursday imposed sanctions on 3 commanders of the RSF over their role in the siege and capture of Al Fasher. U.S. Special Envoy for Africa, Masad Boulos, has told the Council that their message is consistent. Those responsible for atrocities, whether aligned with the RSF or the SAF or any other armed factions, will face consequences. Meanwhile, the UN mission has warned that urgent protection of civilians is needed now more than ever in neighbouring Kordofan state. Now, Kordofan has been the flashpoint of fighting since the RSF's capture of Al Fasher. And for more details, our correspondent Louisa Ulani has sent us more details from Lagos. Take a look.
The United Nations has again said the atrocities in Sudan were preventable. Speaking at the UN Security Council, UN Political Chief Rosemary DiCarlo condemned what was described as horrific event in El Fasher. UN-appointed investigators say the violence amounts to the physical destruction of non-Arab communities, especially the Zagawa and 4 people during the 18-month siege of the city. We recall in November, one of the investigators, Mona Rishmawi, had earlier detailed mass executions, rape, kidnappings, and attack on hospitals where patients were shot in their beds. The UN is urging urgent action to stop further suffering. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olaniyi, WION World is One.